All, Heretic here. Big announcement. May 2nd, just announced, we have Season 4 of Battlegrounds, and there are a lot of changes. I mean, just a ridiculous amount. Let's dive right in. Let's take a look at some things. This is going to be dropping on May 9th. Buddies will be gone. We're going to have a new hero. We're going to have a ridiculous number of new minions. Everything you knew about the game, throw it out. Let's go. Right off the bat, we're going to start with Rockmaster Voon, the new hero. Voon is a very unusual hero in that his hero power, Upbeat Harmony, is at the end of every 3 turns, get a plain copy of the leftmost card in your hand. That is going to be a very odd situation. So you're going to be hanging on to something powerful, something good, maybe a triple you just got. Get 2 of them. I mean, obviously this is going to depend upon the quality of board you have. Because remember, it's not your leftmost minion on your board, it's the leftmost minion in your hand. So you're going to take some damage from this, but for the right card, it's going to be worth it. I mean, if you take a bunch of damage, but you're getting a good copy of a minion, who cares? You obviously don't want to just copy garbage, but there's going to be times where you want this just for the economy, because once you miss it, it's gone. I don't know. I want to see how this one plays out. My gut is that it's not going to be great. I think 3 turns is too many, because even that turn you're holding on to a card, you're probably going to lose that fight, especially in the early game. If you're up against a tempo hero, someone who's getting these free cards and free power is going to probably wreck your board. I don't particularly like this one right off the bat. I see some great potential in the mid to late game for it. In the early game, it's going to be painful, but once you've got a full board and now you can hang on to something, that seems really cool. But now you're probably hanging on to either your best utility card or your best power card, and it's not going to do anything. Now, that's great if you're holding on to something that's powerful, but not a huge deal in the later games. You already have a well-established board and you're already feeling good. Maybe you're fighting the dead guy. Typically, that's not going to be the case. So I'm really not sure how I feel about Rockmaster Voon, but it'd be fun to find out. Next, we have some big keyword changes. Poisonous, gone. Venomous replaces it. The way it works is now Venomous, it works exactly like Poisonous. The first time it deals damage to a minion, that minion dies. But Venomous is different in that it goes away after that first use. So in the combat, you will only get 1 use out of it, and then it just becomes a normal minion at that stage. It still will get Venomous next combat, but during this one, it only gets 1 charge of it essentially per combat. The Wind Fury change is a good one, I feel. When you triple a Wind Fury card, it will no longer gain Mega Wind Fury. Now it will just have Wind Fury. I'm sorry guys, you're gonna have to settle with your 2 attacks. You don't need your 4. Now for the really, really massive changes. 59 minions have been removed from the pool and replaced with 58 new minions, and 3 older minions have returned, with a few minions sticking around, but basically throw out most of what you know because it's all going to be different, folks. So first, let's look at the beasts. Beasts have been worked wholly different here. Some of our old favorites are still here, but there's a lot of new ones that are going to change how we're doing the beast a bit. First up, we have Mana Saber, a 4/1 beast, Death Rattle, summon 2/0/1 couplings with taunt. Not bad. Great for summoning things. Another one of those minions that'll work with your Leapfrogger build. Leapfrogs are still here, so we're all set there. Hummingbird, tier 2, a 0/3. Your other beasts have +2 attack. Cute, interesting early game. Not too impressed with that one. Rylak, Metalhead, a 3/4 taunt Death Rattle. Trigger the battle cries of adjacent minions. A Banana Slammer, a 2/5 beast. After you summon a beast in combat, double its stats. Some nasty potential for combat goodness there. Otherwise, you'll notice that Pale Scale Crocolisk is back. It is a 4/5 Avenge 2 Death Rattle. Give another friendly beast +6/+6. I liked Pale Scale. Happy to see that back. And finally, at tier 6, Octosuri Rap God. 6/7 Death Rattle. Summon a 2/2 Tentacle. It gains +2/+2 permanently after you summon a minion in combat. As you know, you summon a lot of minions in combat. If you're a beast board, you're going to be hopping Death Rattles all over the place. This thing is going to be insane. Just a quick list of the ones I believe are gone. Mind you, I might have missed 1 or 2, but we have lost Alley Cat, Bird Buddy, Hydra, and Goldrinn. They're gone. We're not going to see any more Hydra shenanigans. We're not going to see Goldrinn buffing our board. So we're definitely going to see some wildly different beast plays coming in the future. I'm not sure about some of these minions I see leaving, but I'm excited about some of the new ones, so this still can be fun. Next up, we have some Murloc changes here. Quite a few different ones here. Bear with me, they take a minute to go through. We have a lot of our old favorites. Upbeat Flutist, tier 2, 2/5. At the end of every 2 turns, give a random minion in your hand plus 9 health, 2 turns left. I like this, kind of fun. Problem is that you have to now keep a Murloc in your hand, so it's getting that buff on the 2 turns. It is a plus 9, so that's a cool end of turn effect. Still not sure if I'm excited about this, but could be good. Salt Scale Honcho is back. Tier 2, 3/2. Whenever you play a Murloc, give 2 other friendly Murlocs plus 1 health. I love this card back in the day. It's back to, do the game with us. I'm excited about this one. Scourfin, a tier 3, 6/3 death rattle. Give a random minion in your hand plus 5/5. Once again, they want us to hold cards in our hand. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I feel like that's too slow and I don't want to play Battlegrounds like that. Tier 4, we finally get a new Murloc on tier 4, and there's more than one of them. A Bream Counter, who's a tier 4, 4/4. When this is in your hand, after you play a Murloc, gain +3/+2. So you hold this in your hand, cycle a bunch of Murlocs, and then play it? Or hand things. Not sure how I feel about it. Baskill, tier 4, 6/2, death rattle. Summon the highest health minion from your hand for this combat only. So this is where you get, the value out of these cards like Bream Counter. Keep it in your hand, you cycle a bunch of Murlocs, your Baskill dies, the Bream Counter hits the board. Interesting once again. Still not sure how I feel about it. Will be some fun plays. It's definitely going to be like you have a wider board than you should, because I'm assuming the gold one is going to summon your 2 highest from your hand. So it's like instead of having a 7 minion board, you have a 9. But to accomplish that, you have to hold cards in your hand, which gives you less value and economy on the board. So we'll see. Next up, Plagued Tidewalker, tier 4, 2/7 venomous. Very simple. It's an undead Murloc. It hits something, that something dies, it loses venomous, and then it's just a Murloc. So it's time to buff it up. Tier 5, the Operatic Belcher, venomous death rattle. Give a friendly Murloc venomous. That's pretty awesome. Folks, I think this one we're going to see a lot of because, hey, we all like Murlocs. Now we can give our Murlocs poison, well, venomous, and we'll have this minion have venomous also. That's a big upgrade from the Toxfin time. In tier 6 Murlocs never seem to be too powerful. They have their moments, but otherwise they're always kind of either too much or not enough. Now, if you go back to the day of the Gentle Megasaur, that thing was ridiculous. It was a beast, but it only worked with Murlocs. That was when it was all powerful. Young Murkeyes had some moments, but you don't really see him used very much anymore because that space that he requires and the minions he needs to make him work. Now we've got some tier 6 stuff. Let's see what we can do with it. The Coral Murgler, tier 6, 6/6. Start of combat, gain the stats of all the minions in your hand. So it's on the board, you're buffing it like you do Murlocs, and then, oh yeah, it's also got like plus 50/50 depending what's in your hand. That's kind of bonkers. That could be a lot of fun. Definitely encourages you to hold some cards in your hand. And if you don't have cards in your hand, you don't want this card. Find something else. Tier 6 change here, 7/4 Young Murkeye. It does not work the same. Pay attention to this one. At the end of your turn, the minion to the left of this triggers its battle cry. Not the Murloc, the minion. So this will trigger any battle cry. Neutral, another tribe, Murloc itself. And if you gold it, it's going to be the right and the left. Now we're going to be seeing Young Murkeye from in no one's boards to any board that uses battle cries. You're going to enjoy this thing. Some crazy value from that. We're going to see a complete resurgence on Young Murkeye. Just a real quick to the Murloc minions we have lost. Master of Realities, well, not a Murloc. Definitely worked with Murlocs. We won't be seeing that. Toxfin gives poison. We're no longer doing poison. We're on to venomous. So we're not going to change that card. We've got new cards to replace it. So Toxfin's out. And one of my actual favorites was Seafood Slinger. Sadly, Seafood Slinger is gone because Seafood Slinger enabled some real shenanigans, especially when you kept cycling into Seafood Slinger. So I'm not really shocked this one is gone. When you want to balance the game, maybe not make the card that can keep giving you triples in one turn be in the game, right? Next up, dragons. Let's see what minions we have, what's been changed, what's going to work the same way it always did. If you look at the list here, we already went over the upbeat front Drake. Have it on your board. Every 3 turns, get a random dragon. Tier 2, 3/2 low flyer. At the end of your turn, give +2 attack to your minions with less than this. Pretty cool. Cycle in a token or something along those lines. Now the low flyer will buff them. I like that card, especially at tier 2. Not bad. Another note change, Tarragosa back to tier 3. Tarragosa's time at tier 4 is over. It's back to tier 3, so you can actually find it before you find the promo Drake and maybe make this build actually work. Tier 4, 1/7 Stormbringer. After a different friendly dragon gains attack, this also gains it. Folks, that's a big change. I like that a lot. Happy to see this one here. Tier 5, 5/5 Sanctum Rester. Start of combat, give your other dragons +8 health. Meaning this is a temporary buff, of course. It's only going to be in combat, but if you have a Tarragosa, that's extra health to help it stick around. It's not bad if you're feeling dragons and it's like the mid game and you triple into this one, because at least it's giving your dragons more health. We'll see. It's all your other dragons. So if you're running a mono dragon board and all of a sudden you get this thing, you're getting +8 to 6 different minions. That's pretty bonkers. So I'm excited about this one. And if you're tripling it, +16 health. Tier 5, 3/7, the Electric Synthesizer. Battlecry, give your other dragons +4 attack. Once again, simple, effective, not a bad stat line. I don't like that it doesn't buff itself. So it hits the board as a 3/7, while everything else you have at least is going to have 4 attack. Don't care for that end of it, but I mean, it's a Battlecry, so that works. Tier 5, 4/3 Disco Shuffler. Choose one, trigger a friendly minion's Battlecry, or discover a Battlecry minion. I like that. That's actually pretty cool. One other change, Kalecgos Arcane Aspect, tier 6, 4/12 has been changed a tiny bit. It's just in the wording, but it's important. After you trigger a Battlecry, give your dragons +1/+1. That means now when you have a brand on the board, Kalecgos will trigger that +1/+1 twice. So big change. Remember that. Kalecgos, a little more viable finally. As for the dragons that have left us, it looks like the only ones I notice are Atramedes is gone and the Evolving Chroma Wing is gone. Other than that, everything seems the same, so not too many big changes there at least. Like everything else, elementals, a lot of changes. So let's jump in. Tier 2, Flourishing Frostling. It's a 0/4, has +1 attack for each elemental you played this game, wherever this is. Interesting potential there. I definitely like it. It doesn't have a ton of health, but you know, if you're late game, you're rocking a Nomi, you're buffing your health a whole lot, you throw this thing out there, it is going to have a bonkers portion of attack. So kind of excited about that. So we'll see, but I like that one. Otherwise, tier 4, 4/2 Dancing Barnstormer. Death Rattle. Elementals in Bob's Tavern have +2/+2 for the rest of the game. That's crazy good. I like that a lot. You know, you don't have to sit there and try to cycle cards. You just have it on your board. It dies. They're all better. Good change there. Tier 4, 4/4 Upbeat Upstart. Taunt at the end of every 2 turns. Set this minion's health the highest in your warband. All I have to say about this is kind of cute. It's good the first time, but afterwards, probably not something you're going to want to have. If, you know, if elementals continue to work like they've always worked, where it's more about cycling, I feel like this one will still fall off because, yeah, it could end up having 100 health, but if it's got 20 attack and every elemental I buy from the shop is 80, 100, probably not going to want this on the board. But still, early, we'll see how it plays out and how it actually works. Tier 5, the Gusty Trumpeter is a 4/5. After you sell 6 elementals, get a random elemental. That has potential. If you're cycling enough elementals, get enough Tavern Tempest, that could certainly work. I kind of like the idea behind that. I want to see that one in play. It's tier 5 though, so I feel like it's going to come kind of late. It's going to come at the point where either you're already winning really hard or you're not, and you have to sell 6 elementals. It's not like it's 6 minions, specifically elementals, so I'm not sure how I feel about that. Tier 6, Rock is a 4/4. After you play an elemental, give your minions +1 attack. Swaps to health next turn. I'm not sure how I feel about this. After you play an elemental, give your minions +1 attack, or then +1 health. Definitely good at cycling, but it's a 4/4. I mean, if you're already gonna know me going, this is great. Once again, I'm not sure I want this on my board. It depends. We're gonna have to see. I can theorize about this one, but it sounds kind of subpar to me, but maybe there's probably a crazy combo I'm not thinking of right now. We just saw all these cards. I haven't had enough time to really analyze them. Next up, tier 6, Elemental of Surprise, 8/8, Divine Shield. This minion can triple with any elemental. Interesting. Very interesting. Any elemental triples it? So if I have one of these and 2 other elementals, I get a triple? We'll see. It sounds interesting, folks. I like some of these changes. The tier 6 elementals are a little weird, but tier 6 elementals have always kind of sucked. So it's kind of nice to at least see weird things that have good potential versus ones that we know suck. Now, sadly, we have lost a couple elementals with this patch. Master of Reality, Ragnaros, Gentle Jin, and the Dazzling Light Spawn all have been removed. I don't care too much about some, but I like the Rag and I like the Light Spawn, so sad to see them go, but still some good changes. Like everybody, Naga are subject to some changes too, so let's take a look and see what happened with Naga. Right off the bat, tier 2, 1/3 Reef, Riffer, Spellcraft, give a minion stats equal to your Tavern Tail until the end of the turn. I kind of like this one a lot. Where you're cycling, this has more potential to me. I kind of enjoy this one. This is at least, in the early game, paced just right. In the late game, it still has some potential. That one's pretty cool. Eventide Brute has fallen quite far. Eventide Brute, well, not new, has gone from Tavern Tier 5 to Tavern Tier 3. Same effect. It is a 3/2 now, though, but after you cast a spell, gain +1/+1. I like this change. Eventide Brute comes into the game way too late and then takes time to develop. If you're getting this early, I certainly can see this being a powerhouse in the mid game. Tier 3, 3/4 Zesty Shaker. Once per turn after you cast a spellcraft spell on this, add a new copy of it to your hand. That is pretty awesome. So give it Divine Shield, get a new copy. Give it stats equal to your Tavern Tier, get a new copy. This one has some good potential. This one might be too strong. We'll see, but Next up, we have tier 4, 2/2 Deep Blue Crooner. Spellcraft, give a minion +1/+1 until your next turn. Improve your future deep blues. What does that mean? Is it the spellcraft that gets improved? Is it the card itself? So when you find more, they're getting buffed? I'm not sure. I want to see. That one looks interesting. I want to see what happens with that. Tier 4, 5/3 Silent Swimmer. Spellcraft, give a minion +3/+5 in stealth until your next turn. Naga have always shined as kind of being the utility tribe. Whether or not you play them, you want them for the utility. Well, Silent Swimmer in your Titus now has stealth and a buff. Gonna be some fun combos with that. That is going to be a damn good time right there. Otherwise, Naga's not too changed. They haven't added that many. They're all mid to early tier guards. All their late stuff stayed the same. As for the Naga that have left us, we've lost Wave Rider, the one who gave Wind Fury. We've lost Greta, the one who made a Pirate or Naga gold. I liked that card a lot, but it also caused a lot of problems, so kind of happy to see that one go. And Warden of Old, I believe the 3/3 who gives you a gold coin every time they died. Once again, not exactly a huge impactful card. You'd see it every now and then, but you were never happy to get it on your board. So Undead have a lot of changes. The Undead haven't been with us that long. I don't know if they needed all these, but they got a lot. So let's dive into the Undead because there's some stuff to unpack here. Incorporeal tier 1, 5/5. After this minion attacks, destroy it. Pretty good card to sit on the right side of your board and give taunt in the early game, maybe. Definitely not going to win you a lot of fights because if it attacks, it dies. But a good anchor to sit at your end of your board, so kind of like that one. Tier 3, 3/1 Undead Radio Star. Death Rattle, add a plain copy of the minion that killed this to your hand. That I like a lot. Rafam's hero power in the form of a body? Yes. Use that with Titus to get 2 copies? Yes, please. This is a cool card. I'm kind of looking forward to see what this does. Tier 4, 5/1 Xylobones. After you summon a minion in combat, gain +3 health permanently. This thing is going to gain a lot of health. Undead, especially if you find an Uberak, already have a ridiculous amount of attack. This thing, every time you summon a minion in combat, is going to get +3 health permanently. Well, guess what? You summon a lot in combat. Big card. Excited about this. We'll see. Plagued Tidewalker. 2/7 Venomous Murloc, but it's also undead, so we'll be seeing this now in the Undead lobbies. Venom, once again, goes away as soon as it's used the first time, so not too bad. We're okay with that. Otherwise, as far as I can tell, all the high-end undead stay the same. Functionally, they're still going to work basically the same as a tribe. They just gave them some really nifty cards. Actually, I'm kind of excited about the changes to Undead. I already think Undead's a pretty fun tribe, and these are all pretty good cards. So the only one I'm not excited about is Incorporeal Corporal, and it's mostly because I can't say it, but still got a good stat line. I'm just not excited because it dies as soon as it swings. The cards we've lost, Lich Doctor, Jelly Belly, and the Banshee. Good cards, not exciting cards. I was never happy to see Jelly Belly. I would take it because it was offered to me, but otherwise, pretty good changes. Okay, this is going to take a minute to unpack, folks. The pirate tribe got nuked from orbit. I don't know what to say. Their ship sank. There's a new fleet in town. A lot of our old favorites are gone. There's some new ones. So let's start unpacking because there's a lot. Tier 1, 3/1, South She Busker. Battlecry, gain 1 gold next turn. Bad card, create utility. I like that. And it's next turn, so it's not like you get it immediately. Rip Snarl Captain, formerly tier 4, is now a 2/4. Whenever a friendly pirate attacks, give it +3 attack. That's a good body, a 2/4. +3 attack is not bad. Before it gave health also. That's really good. I'm pretty happy with where that one is. Gunpowder Courier, tier 3, 2/4. After you spend 5 gold, give your pirates +1 attack. Don't really care about that one. I am in no way excited about that card, but there it is. Tier 3, 4/3, Bloodsail Cannoneer. Battlecry, give your other pirates +3 attack. I like that a lot. Throw it down, give all your pirates 3 attack, get rid of it soon thereafter. It's not an exciting card, but it's at tier 3 where they're mostly utility. Stats are about right, so I'm okay with that one. Tier 4, 2/2, Underhanded Dealer. After you gain gold, gain +1/+1. Not insane. You're going to be gaining gold because you're a pirate. I like that card. I don't know if I want it on my board, but we'll see. It feels a lot like another pirate that I'm happy that's gone, so we'll see how it works out. Tier 4, 3/2, Blade Collector. Also damages the minion next to it whenever this attacks. So, cleave? Kind of feels like this is just cleave. This is cleave for pirates. And since we have a lot of ways to buff attack now, pirates with a cleave are kind of scary. Tier 4, 3/4, Lovesick Balladist. Battlecry, give a pirate +1 health for each gold you spent this turn. I like that a lot. That's a cool effect. It only works universally on pirates, but if you are a mono pirate board, you're happy about this as you're cycling. Not as crazy as some things we've seen, but still pretty good. Vanessa Van Cleef is essentially the same. She gives pirates +2/+1 when she attacks permanently, and she's a 3/7 at tier 5 now. Not a huge change, but Vanessa. Record Smuggler is a tier 5, 7/6. At the start of your turn, gain 1 gold. Repeat for each other friendly pirates. Now remember, you've got some pirates who gain stats when you gain gold. And others who let you do more things for spending gold. And you've got Peggy doing what Peggy does. Tier 5, 8/4. We've already talked about this, but we're going to hit it real quick. Upbeat Impressionist. At the end of every 2 turns, make a random pirate in your hand gold. I don't care for this, but maybe this will be amazing. Just off the top of it, I'm not excited. Tier 6, the big one. Fleet Admiral Tethys, 5/6. After you spend 8 gold, get another random pirate for 8 gold. I like that. I like that a lot. You're cycling. You've got pirates. Kick that into your hand. You're all happy. I like that change a lot. What's gone from the pirate pool? A list. Deck Swabby's gone. Strong Arm's gone. Pip is gone. That's the pirate you need 2 of to make a triple. Gold Grubber's gone. Not really going to miss that. Augur is gone. Captain Hogger, basically what you picture when you picture pirates, is now gone. In Eliza. Eliza was another good steadfast of pirates. These are a very different tribe than the pirates we just had. They kept a lot of the low tier ones and just blew up the rest. I'm not sure how I feel about these changes because I really did like the old pirate tribe. But we'll see. Maybe these will be great. Maybe it's just, apprehension right off the bat. But I mean, I was excited about the undead changes, the pirates. All right, folks, demons, there's a lot of changes here, so get ready. This is going to take a minute. Demons are a little different. So first of all, Wrathweaver is now a 1/4 instead of a 1/3. After you play a demon, deal 1 damage to your hero. Still does that. Still hate that. gain +2/+1. Next, we have the Soul Rewinder, a tier 2 3/1. After your hero takes damage, rewind it and give this +1 health. Does that mean you don't take damage and this gains 1 health? What confuses me only is the rewind it part. Like, they don't explain that at all. It's just after your hero takes damage, rewind it and give this item this +1 health. To me, that sounds like it negates the demon. We'll see. And that's my logic behind it, but who knows? Tier 2 4/6. Beautiful stats. Backstage security. At the start of your turn, deal 1 damage to your hero. So, I mean, as long as you have a Soul Rewinder, you don't mind having the backstage security. Otherwise, you are paying for those stats in the early game. Tier 3 4/2 Keyboard Igniter. Battle Cry. If you've taken damage since last turn, give your other demons +1/+2. Demons are obviously leaning heavy into this hurting yourself, buffing other minion thing. And this is a great example of they're just going hog wild on this. Tier 3 5/2 Malkazar, Prince of Dance. 2 refreshes each turn cost health instead of gold. Don't like that, but once again, if we're going to go with this whole aspect where we're buffing it and we might be avoiding that damage, it's a new world. Like, we can't live with the preconceptions we had before where it felt bad to hurt yourself, because now you're hurting yourself, but you might not actually be hurting yourself. Battlemaster fell to tier 4, is now a 3/1, but it gains +2 health for each health your hero is missing. This is going to get pretty big pretty quick, it looks like, the way we're going to be damaging ourselves. So that'll be an interesting card, definitely. Next, we have the tier 5 Imposing Percussionist. It's a 6/6 Battle Cry. Discover a demon. Deal damage to your hero equal to its tier. That could hurt, but once again, if I got to rewind, I mean, so far, everything I see on this board tells me I need a rewind. I need a gold rewind, and it's going to be soaking damage the entire game, if that's the case. Tier 5 4/4 Tichondrius. After your hero takes damage, give your other demons +1/+1. Once again, we're cutting ourselves. We're going nuts. Otherwise, the tier 6s all look essentially the same, unless I'm missing something bizarre. Seems to be good stuff. As for the demons we lost Piggyback Imp, Catherine Atir, Soul Juggler, which feels huge to lose because it's been a staple of the demons forever. Big Fernal, which was great when it came into the game, but definitely doesn't function like it used to. Doomsayer, and Voidlord. Voidlord's been in there a long time, but once again, one of those demons that kind of likes Soul Juggler. So with that being gone, do we care too much? We'll see, folks. Big demon changes. Folks, and like everything else, Quillboar got changed. There's a lot of changes, so here we go. Let's look at all of them. First, Thorncaller is now tier 2, 3/2 Death Rattle, get a Blood Gem. It lost the Battle Cry, but it still has the Death Rattle, and now it's tier 2. I liked Thorncaller before, I still like it now, so I'm okay with that one. We have the tier 3 Moon Bacon Jazzer, who's a 2/5. I love the name. Battle Cry. For the rest of the game, your blood gems give an extra +1 health. So every time you cycle one of these, blood gems are going to give +1 plus however many you've done. If you cycled 6 of these, your blood gems are giving what? +1 +7? That's a lot of health being thrown out there. And with poison being gone, replaced by venomous, this will be interesting. Quillboar might have a time to shine again. Next, tier 4 6/3 Prickly Piper. Death Rattle. For the rest of the game, your blood gems give +1 attack. So, unlike the Moon Bacon Jazzer, this one, every time it dies, your blood gems will also give attack. Next big change, the tier 5 5/5 Bongo Bopper. At the end of your turn, get a blood gem and play 2 more on this. So you're going to get a blood gem, and it's going to put 2 on itself. Now you've got the guys who are giving plus health to the blood gems and plus attack to the blood gems. So this guy is going to get very big, very quick. I like the scaling on these. I really think Quillboar are going to be in a fun place. I'm looking forward to this because I loved Quillboar when they came out, but they haven't aged very well since then. And finally, we have tier 6 210 Bristlebach nameplay. Avenge, play 1, and it's Avenge 1. Play a blood gem on all your Quillboar. I like this card. My concern is it only works with Quillboar, so you want it for nothing else. The tier 6, it's going to give you 1 blood gem. Now, maybe that's not a valid concern anymore because blood gems are going to give a health and attack and lots of other things, so maybe it's not as bad as it seems. I'm still living in my head of where the Quillboar of now exist, where they're just not as good as this, with the synergy we're going to have compared to now. And if we look at the Quillboar we lost Roadboar, the Brute, Bristleback, and the Darkgaze Elder. All interesting Quillboar, but nothing really exciting there, so I'm pretty happy with them going away. Darkgaze was the ultimate one, and that always felt kind of clunky, although I'd rather have Darkgaze than Chargla, but with the new system where they're going to be giving health and attack, and it could get exponentially better, maybe we don't want to have the ability to add multiple blood gems a turn from just that. Next up, we're diving into mechs. With the new ones, a tier 2 2/2 Lullabot, magnetic at the end of your turn, gain +1/+1. Not crazy, decent stats. I'm curious, if I magnetic it, will it still be gaining the +1/+1 every turn? That's kind of cool if that's the case. I'm not super excited about this card, but it's not bad. It's scaling. It's going to come on the board early enough, and it's going to slowly scale, where I think that has some potential, so I'm kind of cool with that. I like the idea. Tier 3 2/3 Accordotron, love the name again. Magnetic, start of your turn, gain 1 gold. Once again, I would imagine these have to function when they're attached to things, otherwise their value falls to nothing. So if this is giving us gold every turn, that's pretty awesome. I like that changes. Tier 4, 3/6 Scrap Scraper, Avenge 4, get a random magnetic mech. So if we look at these new magnetics, plus all the old ones we've always had, I like this a lot. Sit it in the back. Just slowly let it feel like it's picking up pieces of mech and throwing together new ones for you. That's kind of a cool effect. I like that a lot. Tier 5, 4/5 Utility Drone. At the end of your turn, give your minions +1/+1 for each magnetization they have. So what you see here is a constant synergy that's just ramping up. The more you're adding all these things on, the more snowbally they get. Just like Quillboar, we're just doing what they do. Tier 6, we got one new mech, and I kind of like this one. The Polarizing Beatboxer, 3/7. Whenever you magnetize another minion, it also magnetizes to this. So if we look at the Lullabot with the scaling, if we look at the Accordotron giving us gold, we're getting a lot of potential here for just snowball effect that I really like. Mechs are in a fun new place. I kind of like this where they're reworking this tribe in particular, especially completely different. This is an exciting change. Mechs are going to be a lot of fun. And as for the mechs we lost Iron Sensei, Greaseball, and Holy Mechrel. I'm kind of fine with all those. Holy Mechrel to me was always that irritating. When they got the shield dance right, you just bounce off them and reset it and hit the other one and reset it. That drove me nuts. I know a Leroy could throw a wrench into it, but when you first encounter it, it could just kill you with enough stats on everything. And finally, we have the neutral cards. The neutral cards were largely left untouched. The neutral cards are essentially exactly the same with a couple really key changes. So let's take a look at them all. First of all, we have tier 1, The Mistake. It's a 1/3. This minion has all types. I love it. It looks goofy as all hell. It is amazing. I definitely want this card. Will it be good? Maybe not, but will it be fun? Definitely. Upbeat Duo. This is a tier 4 4/2 Battlecry. Choose a minion at the end of every 2 turns. This gives you a plain copy. What? I can target anything, and every 2 turns I'm going to get... You get this thing early enough, you triple into this. This is the perfect thing to give you that tier 6 triple. Target one of the minions on your board. 2 turns later, you get another copy. 2 turns later, you get the 3rd copy. There's a lot of weird shenanigans you can definitely pull off with that card. Yeah, it has to eat up a spot on your board. It doesn't have a ton of stats, but if you get this, like I said, early enough, you really can do some silly things with this. Tier 5, 1/5 Drakari Enchanter. Your end of turn effects trigger twice. That's bonkers. Folks, if you've played Ragnaros in the buddy meta at all, you know how this kind of thing works. If you triple it, it's probably going to triple those end of turn effects. You got a Light Fang, something along those lines. This thing is going to be kicking out a lot of stats. This is going to be an interesting card. I really want to see how quick we can get one of these on the board and see what we can build with it. It is a lot of fun. I like that. Tier 6, 3/8, The Boogie Monster. After you play a tier 1 minion, progress to the next tier and give your minions +1/+2. So as you cycle, it's just going to keep buffing the next tier, and finally, I guess it's just only going to be buffing tier 6. There's some interesting stat potential there. I don't know how I feel about that one. We'll have to see how it plays out in the long run, but it is an interesting card. I'll give them credit on it where I'm looking at it going, it could be good. Also could be garbage. I'm not sure. Manton Queen has had a slight change. Also, if you look closely, Mantiqueedon is now venomous, which we knew. Start of combat for each of your minion types gain +5/+5 Wind Fury, Reborn, or Taunt. So it has gained Reborn and lost Divine Shield as one of the options. But Reborn is huge because who cares? If it's got Reborn, that's fine. Yeah, it sucks if it hits a Divine Shield and it dies, but the fact that it can roll Reborn is pretty huge. I like that change a lot. And we have to pour one out probably for the MVP. The only neutral card I could find that they removed, Theator. The Tea Master is gone. The game, this card has defined the game lately. This is the end game card you want to find that can definitely change the way you play the game. I'm really going to miss Tea Master. I didn't understand how to use it and I ignored it for a long time. And when it was finally pointed out to me and I worked it into my gameplay, oh God, it was such a change. So Tea Master I felt like was a good card. It actually took some shenanigans to pull off, but I guess it defined the meta too much, really making neutral cards, you know, that Menagerie build the way to go all the time. And you want Menagerie to be viable, but not to be dominating. You don't want any one tribe to be too strong, and Menagerie's in every game, so that definitely was a problem. All right, that's it for the new cards. Let's move on to the next thing. Next up, we have the Battlegrounds track will refresh. This was going to be our usual thing where you pay for the pass if you want. It's going to give you the extra heroes you can choose from every time you decide what you want to play every turn, plus various skins, rewards, you know, all the cosmetic fun stuff. We're used to these changes at this point, that we finished them way too quick. We're done in like the first week. So not that excited about these, but I mean, I'm sure there'll be some cool new skins. We'll see how that is. But you know the controversy behind all that. Get your runestone spears up. Get ready to complain. The pitchforks. Let's get them out. Let's burn down the house. God damn it. Also, we have some cool social media stuff coming up you have to keep yourself prepared for. We have a dev talk on May 3rd. May 4th, we're going to do a playtest preview event. May 8th, there'll be patch notes. Thank you. We need those. Know what I'm doing in 6 days. On May 9th, we'll get another discussion about it. The patch will go live. So big changes there. It's going to be phase 1. We're going to get Beast, Murloc, Dragon, Elemental, Naga, and Undead. On May 11th, we'll then get Pirate changes added. On May 15th, we'll get the Demons added. And then May 22nd, Quillboar and Mechs will be added to the pool. So they're going to kind of slowly drip them in. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I feel like that maybe if you're going to do it like this, just do it 1 or 2 tribes at a time and spread it out. But I don't know how much scheduling difficulty this is, how much patching this involves. So it's probably a whole thing. But I still wish they would kind of put them all. If you're going to put them out slow, do it slow. Don't do a lot, then start trickling it out. The big one, though, is going to be May 4th. We're going to get the event where they're going to have a bunch of streamers playing these cards so we can see what they're like. That's going to happen at noontime Eastern. So get ready, jump onto Twitch, go watch that. Finally get an idea of how these cards will work. You know, these people already have been probably messing around, seeing what they can do with these cards. They have access to things long before us. You know, watch all your favorite streamers, watch your content creators, not anybody like me. People like me, we don't make content for Blizzard. No, we're just slaves to the cause because we love y'all and we want the stuff to work. But if you want to watch all them do play these cards, you know, jump on there, check the times, see who you like the most so you can go watch them play, because these will be a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be watching these. I'm gonna be rooting for people. Not sure about a couple of them because they don't even play the game much anymore, but I'm not naming any names, Collins. And finally, just in case you need a little more incentive, if you celebrate and you come watch this from May 9th to May 16th and you watch a Hearthstone stream, you're gonna be able to earn Bran Bronze Guild on the Battlegrounds. So just go watch Twitch, watch your people play, and get this, and you will get a free skin. So what do you think? Are you excited? Are these changes you like? I'm super excited about some of the tribes. I'm really dismayed at others like Pirates. I'm really sad to see, but Quillboar and Undead, some interesting things. I really like these changes overall. I think they're going to breathe a breath of, you know, fresh air into the game, and they're coming early enough where we're not going to be tripping on them as we all rush to play Diablo 4. Some people might not care, but some of us are really jonesing to play some Diablo. Let's face it, Battleground numbers are going to fall off a lot as we all move over to Diablo. So what do you think? What are you excited for? Probably my favorite, the new Minion changes by a long shot. I don't care about the new hero. We have too many heroes. They kind of sound lackluster. Maybe there's a great combo to make them work, but Cosmetics, I don't really care about. I just want to play the game without buddies, which I'm going to get. Just wish I could have it for a little while with the tribes we already had. Not have to go to the whole new stuff right away. But I'm biased. Don't look at me. So what do you think? Do me a favor. Leave a comment. I want to hear it. I really do care. I want to interact with you about it. Hit like if you like this and subscribe, because if you subscribe, that helps me get some more buzz, gets more people, gets more eyes. Maybe one day I make a buck. We let YouTube pay me and you can come watch without having to give me a dime and let daddy YouTube pay me. Sounds good to me. Thanks for watching all. I hope you had a good time. I really do appreciate it. Catch you later. Bye.